Two towers, reaching for the sky. Two towers, meant to foster friendship between human and Pokémon. Two towers, about to become one. And a tragedy that no one could have foreseen. And the birth of a legend that will last for years and years. On a day like any other in Ecrutean City, a massive lightning struck the ancient brass tower sitting in a fire. A fire that would prove too much to handle for the residents as no one was able to stop it. And so, after 3 days of fire and destruction, a miraculous and sudden downpour came from the sky and extinguished the flames. But the legends of the Ecrutean City were just beginning, as it is said that 3 undefined Pokémon were trapped in the tower during the fire and passed away in it. However, once the fire was put out, the rainbow Pokémon came down from the sky and, moved by the tragedy, decided to bring back these unfortunate Pokémon and give them renewed power, and thus Raikou, the sudden lightning, Entei, the scorching flames, and Suicune, the sudden downpour, were born. A wonderful, interesting story, and a pretty famous one too, being that a lot of Pokémon fans know it, but one that became infamous for the dumb fan in the room. Who were these legendary beasts? This is a question that has been explored many times and usually comes to the same conclusions, but I would like to put it under the microscope one more time, because I have been reviewing this case and I think I have found something interesting. Ever since the original sequels, Gold and Silver, the leading theory was that 3 unfortunate Pokémon were the original 3 evolutions, Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon. And the theory is, to this day, pretty well accepted by the fans. After all, there are a lot of coincidences that make it seem suspicious, like the type and coordination, the general shape, the relation between Pokémon, and even the abilities that they had. Not only that, but another interesting detail is the fact that the Kimono Girls, an enemy type found in the same city nearly 150 years after the tragedy, used these exact Pokémon, and the traditions they follow have been in place for a long time, giving this theory a lot more meaning. A theory too good to be true, right? Well, it seems it was, being that Game Freak modified the abilities of the legendary beasts in Generation 7. Almost as if to say, close, but no. So, with that out of the way, who else could it be? Wait, go back. This is kind of unexpected. You see, along with the main anime, the Pokémon Company has been publishing another series called Pokémon Generations. And it's like a bridge between the games and the anime itself. And in the episode, The Reawakening, we were able to see the moment these Pokémon passed away. They don't look like any known Pokémon to this day. And it is here that another theory is starting to go around, that being that these Pokémon are either Houndooms or Houndours. But I absolutely oppose this theory because we kind of deconfirmed the EV theory based on only new information, like this clip and the changes in abilities in Gen 7. So if we are playing with only the newer info we have, then these Pokémon cannot be fire types, because ever since Gen 6, fire type Pokémon cannot be burned. Sure, you can feint them with a fire type attack, but Pokémons from the brass tower were burned to death. And from here on out it gets harder because of the silhouettes we see, but I don't think that's a problem. You see, if we remember where all these images are coming from, we'll realize that it is just referring to a story. It's a retelling of something that happened years and years ago, a story passed down from one generation to another. And even if they were being told by someone who was there, we need to remember that these Pokémon were trapped inside. So if someone saw something, it was probably just the silhouette, the general form or shape of what they look like. And this is important because along with the name, number and other things, shape, It's a classification that the Pokédex uses for classifying Pokémon, and we could use that. This is where I start making my very own assumptions for this case, and with all the information we have, I can say that I'll be following these observations because it's the only thing we have. Number 1, these are unnamed Pokémon, so almost everything is fair game. Typing, relation, or lack of thereof doesn't matter really. Number 2, I'll be taking the specific Pokémon shape into consideration, anything out of it will not count. Number 3, I'm going to try and stick with Pokémon from the Jhoto and Kanto regions, being that they are the ones shown in the games, and it is seen that these types of Pokémon are all over the place. Number 4, the fact that we do not know these Pokémon means that I can assume they are not the same. That being said, we can start with the first event that took place, the lightning. Raikou, the thunder Pokémon. The Pokémon that embodies the speed of lightning and is described by its creator, Saito, as a tiger-like design. This one clicked easily in my mind, being that a candidate came up fairly quickly. I believe that a Cantonian Persian was the original Raikou. They are the same shape category. Raikou is the most feline-like of the trio, and in terms of speed, Persian was a speed demon in the first generation, even being able to abuse the old critical hit system. And not only that, but their speed it's the exact same. But this one was the easy one for me. Next, it's Entei, the volcano Pokémon, a brawny Pokémon that curses around the earth, spouting flames harder than a volcano's magma. A king with a dignifying beard, a lion with a rock-like body, as said by Muneo. First, I have to point out an honorable mention, being Lycanroc midday form, just because it lines up in almost every category. It's a dog with a rock-like body with the same shape and attack stat that Entei. However, for the life of me, I just can't see a way in which a random Lycanroc was in the tower at that time. And I gotta say that the relation between Lycanroc and Entei is clearer than my other option, which was Tauros. Because of the way the Pokédex mentioned just how strong it is, and well, it had a lot of strength in Gen 1, and having stats that are kind of believable except for the defense and speed, Tauros just seems like a better option of a Gen 1 Pokémon or Gen 2 Pokémon that has the same shape, because being serious, the only other option would be Girafarig, based on his special attack being the same and having the same shape. But to be honest, the way it is remarked how Entei sometimes can control their own power makes it seem a little bit closer to being a Tauros. And now, the Aurora Pokémon, the sudden downpour, Suicune, a leopard-like Pokémon and an homage to Fujin, the god of the North Wind. Curiously enough, this is the beast that receives more attention out of the trio, however, his origins stay just as unexplored as the rest. Not only that, but his moveset has a unique quirk, that of learning naturally some of the most powerful ice-type moves, not only water-type. Unlike Raikou, that doesn't learn any strong flying-type move, or Entei not learning any strong rock-type move naturally, even when those are pseudo-secondary typings they have. And not only that, but this ability to naturally learn water, ice, psychic, dark, and normal type, I could only feel like they were all pointing in the same direction. Having a special connection to another Pokémon capable of learning these types or attacks, and specializing in them on another level, that Pokémon being Eevee. Which is also another theory, that being that every single one is just an Eevee. But then again, it is just interesting the ability it has to adapt and use these elements in its favor. But I do have to address the fact that this beast learns Psychic and Dark type moves. It is not unique to Suicune because all of them can learn them. Suicune is just the only one that learned 2 attacking Psychic moves. Something that I like about these Pokemon in specific, Persian, Tauros, and Eevee, is that all of them are normal type Pokemon. A perfect empty canvas ready to be modified. And this is another interesting point. They were all resurrected by the legendary Ho-Oh, a Pokemon with the ability to passively heal itself, the Pokemon based on the Phoenix. and one shown to have great power in the anime. And a lot of people think that it's impossible or highly unlikely that it is able to change their typing. But then again, normal non-legendary Pokemon can already do that with the moves like Soak or something like that. So a full-on metamorphosis and a change of typing from a healing god, it's really extreme, but plausible. And in the end, it's what happened, isn't it? A problematic thing about this whole situation is the nature of the mystery. A lot of details of these Pokemon are lost forever. And being honest, it's only natural when you put what happened into perspective. For example, the Cathedral of Notre Dame is one of the most beautiful and impressive achievements in architecture, and it too was set ablaze in 2019. Thankfully, it was controlled and it is now being repaired, but what would have happened if it was destroyed by the fire? If all that art and history would have been erased? A piece of history just destroyed. Now imagine that just as the cathedral was being burned down, 3 stray doggish animals were seen trapped inside. Sure, a lot of people are going to be sad about them, but it's going to be eclipsed by the fact that an historical building was lost. And another detail is that beasts, at least these, well, they are legends, meaning that while their existence is based on verifiable stories, not all of the details can be proven to be true. So it is best to focus on recording the brass tower burning itself. And it doesn't help that by that time not a lot of Pokemon were the shape that we are looking for. I mean, the list of Gen 1 and 2 Pokemons under that specific shape is really narrow, and not a lot of them are believably beast-like material. So that's it? Are these the Pokemon that became the legendary beasts? I have to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I'm feeling pretty nice about the Raikou-Persian relation, and the anti-Lycanroc sounds so nice, but none of the options feel right. Mainly because of the restrictions that are in place. I mean, if we were to ignore boundaries, Lycanroc would be a perfect match, and even Suicune could be an ancient Delcatty or something, I don't know. But having no information to prove anything, is there a perfect theory? I'd say that there can be really good ones if you know where to link them. For example, there's another theory that overlaps with all of these and can have a lot, and that is the many worlds interpretation in Pokemon. Basically, that there are at least 2 different universes, one with Mega Evolutions and one without them. But it doesn't stop there. In one, where there are no Mega Evolutions, no new Pokemon are in Jhoto. Only Jhoto and Kanto Pokemon have been seen there. Fire-type Pokemon can be burned, and there are no possible shapes related to the beasts before their deaths. Not in the silhouette form, at least. And another universe where Mega Evolutions exist, and we can see Pokemon from all around the world in different regions, as seen in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So my best guess, and one based on all available information, is that one of these universes, the one where there's no Mega Evolutions, the original 3 evolutions were the original forms of the beasts. And in the other one, where Mega Evolutions are possible, the original forms could be that of Persian, Tauros or Eevee. But then again, there's not a lot that we can do being this limited. I mean, there's no more story about these animals, there's no more interest in official media about these unnamed Pokemon. So there's not a lot more we can do. We are so restricted until Game Freak decides to do something about it, and being honest, I don't think Game Freak really cares about this specific story. And so, being that we do not have all the pieces required, I'm afraid this case cannot be closed. For now, at least.